Compromise is often perceived as a negative, but the truth is that it's a wonderful thing. Compromise ends wars, compromise saves relationships, and most importantly, compromise results in happiness. The Ducati SuperSport is a compromise, and I mean that in the most genuine sense of the word. The big question is whether this particular compromise can find you happiness. Let's see, shall we? A Ducati sports bike is the stuff of dreams, an object so desirable, entire childhood dreams and aspirations are based around its magical form. Therefore, it's vital that the SuperSport take the breath away, and that she most certainly does. The Panadol-inspired face is entirely to thank here, with a sleek LED DRL running down the nose which sits atop a halogen headlamp. The design is carried off quite well, but the halogens have average performance, and it's about time we start seeing powerful LED lamps as standard on such expensive bikes. Moving over to the side, the design is noticeably less pony-tail. From the images, the large fairing gives the bike a rather front-heavy look, but in person the design is quite svelte and easy on the eyes. The fairing features a unique shoulder line that blends into the fuel tank, and clever design work has ensured that all screws and fasteners are hidden away. Things turn sexy once more as we move to the rear, with the double-barrel exhaust stopping just short of the rear wheel. The entire rim is proudly on display on the right side thanks to a single-sided swing arm, something previously reserved for top-tier Ducatis like the Diabel/X Diabel, Multistrada 1200 and 1299 Ponytail. This particular bike is the higher-spec SuperSport S, so it gets the gold Öhlins front forks, the yellow Öhlins shock, and a body-colored rear seat panel. Our test bike was also wearing the optional performance pack, which, for about 60,000 rupees, adds a carbon fiber front fender, sleek LED indicators, adjustable levers, and CNC machine caps for the brake fluid reservoirs. Facing the rider is an LCD screen which relays all the relevant information and is easy to read in bright daylight. Another smart design feature is the incorporation of body-colored panels connecting the front of the fairing to the fuel tank. It's a splash of prettiness in a space that is usually filled with drab black plastic, and I quite like it. Ducati's traditional sliding start switch resides on the right bar, while the left has the controls for the digital display. There's another button on the right that allows you to switch between the big DRL and the full headlamp. Overall, the SuperSport is well finished, but it would be nice if the exposed engine area behind the fairing was more cleaned up, as there's quite a lot going on with the exposed plumbing and wiring. Nestled in the SuperSport's steel trellis frame is a big, 937 cubic centimeters V-twin engine. Given the proximity to a full liter of capacity, it's easy to expect humongous power figures. The reality is that the SuperSport's motor favors rideability over big numbers. At 110 HP and 93 nanometers, power and torque is considerably down from the 150 HP and 102 nanometers of torque produced by the completely different 955 cubic centimeters V-twin and the 959 Ponytail. Ducati have instead made a conscious decision to ensure that the SuperSport's power and torque is accessible far more easily. Torque peaks at 6,500 rpm, a whole 2,500 rpm before the 959 Ponytail, but more importantly, the rider has access to 80% of the torque at just 3,000 rpm. However, like most big V-twins, the SuperSport engine feels lumpy at low revs and has a dislike for anything below 2,000 rpm. Our test bike had clocked only 600 kilometers and it had a couple of minor rough spots, but experience with the Multistrada 950 reminds us that this motor is smooth and hard revving, while remaining free of any annoying vibrations. It sounds good too, with the exhaust belting out a loud and deep rumble, and it throws out some nice burbles and pops on a closed throttle. Performance is thrilling, but stops short of the level where you scream into your helmet and cheer all at how violently the bike is accelerating. Power builds hard, but in a friendly, linear fashion, and speeds upwards of 160 km per hour can arrive very quickly if you aren't paying attention. Of the three riding modes, Urban blunts throttle response and power to the point where it is highly beginner-friendly, but rather frustrating to the more experienced. Touring mode strikes the best balance, as it provides full power with a smooth and mellow throttle response. Sport mode, meanwhile, offers sharper responses, yet remains creamy and easy to control with the right hand. As with the Multistrada 950, The traction control system is delightfully unobstructive and offers 8 levels of adjustability.